I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking about they met someone new right away.
Oh dear.
It happens. It happens. A lot of times when somebody ends the relationship with you, they jump into something new right away.
Right.
Sometimes it's somebody they've known. Sometimes it's just somebody they've met. But it happens. You know, Margaret, I think a big part of that is that people don't like to be alone.
No, they don't. Yeah.
For the most part.
Right.
Even the avoidance.
That's the problem for the poor avoidance. Yes, we're wired to connect. Yep.
And so when somebody feels like the relationship isn't going the way they were wanting or hoping, or they just weren't feeling that connection anymore, and all of a sudden they get this exciting chemistry with somebody else,
Yep.
they could just get swept away and start
Right.
thinking that this new relationship is going to lead to, you know...
Everlasting love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that rarely happens.
But if you're the partner, it's devastating, right?
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the worst feeling when that happens. And it happens often.
Often, yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you can't repair things with your ex or fix things with them. Obviously, it just means it's another hurdle that you'd have to overcome to repairing it, right?
Yep.
Because you're going to be upset about it and hurt, and you're going to have to kind of deal with that and act like adults over it if you're going to repair things.
Yep.
So I've got an email coaching today from a couple in their early 20s, and they asked me to please do a video on this one.
Did they?
Yeah. They said, I'm currently new to your channel and have been listening to your videos. They help me. My girlfriend of 1 year, who has been a near lifelong friend since we were about 8.
Oh my.
And last year, around the start of the pandemic, I had finally gotten to tell her how I truly felt. And eventually, she came along to admit she was starting to have deeper feelings towards me. Okay, so that dynamic is very unusual.
Yes, it is.
You've known them since you were 8.
Yep.
Now you're in your early 20s.
Yep.
And you've never said anything to them before.
Right.
While we couldn't really get together because of everything going on with the virus, we tried our absolute best to make the most of it with texting and making attempts to get together, but that always seemed to fall through.
Okay.
I always tried my best to be patient because she's living with her parents and her brother is sick with a defect that COVID could harm him especially.
Oh yeah.
I'd even assembled a care package while she was in quarantine of stuff I knew she'd love, as well as a Christmas and birthday presents.
How thoughtful of you.
Yeah. At one point, I had an opportunity to come over for dinner with her family, but they were already hosting our new pastor and his family, and she was severely anxious, so I decided to sit it out for her sake. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're not seeing anybody because of COVID.
Right. But they're hosting the pastor and his family.
Yeah. Who would be around a lot of people if you're a pastor.
Yes. Indeed. Okay.
Around March, we had arranged another meetup near her house at the end of the driveway and talked. I asked her if I may hold her hand for a moment, and we did. Thinking back now, I should probably have known better because she's got some issues with intimacy at times. Well, I mean, he's known her for a long time and he's just trying to hold her hand. I mean, that's Not really asking for much.
Okay, do go on.
The next night, when we were talking, she could tell that something was bothering me, so she pressed on, and I asked her if she genuinely wanted to be with me. Mm-hmm. You could already see it's the kiss of death.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
How many times do you see that somebody says, are you even happy with me, or do you really love me? And all of a sudden they're just like, I'm not happy. Yeah. It happens all the time.
So you see the kiss of death coming here, huh?
Yep. She told me that it had hurt her to the core, that saying she had tried so much to keep us together and get us together that she needed time and space. In other words, he's saying, are you really happy with me? Do you really love me?
Do you want to be with me?
Along those lines. And because he questioned her about it, she's like, this hurts me to the core that you would even say that. How? In other words, she's questioning that he could say that to her.
Well, that was because she wouldn't hold hands with him.
Yeah, that, and she could sense something was off with him. Okay. That's all he said.
Yeah.
Unusual, isn't it?
Yes.
She reached out to me 3 days later, saying that I had hurt her feelings, and while she wasn't mad at me and forgave me, she told me that she didn't feel that romantic spark and only feels of me as a friend, and said that we can still be that. Okay, so this doesn't surprise me. Go ahead.
I'm confused. Is this all still coming from the visit in the driveway?
I think, in a sense, yes.
Where he wanted to hold her hand.
I want to hold hands, but because he was awkward about it and uncomfortable about it, now all of a sudden, instead of feeling a connection, she's feeling this uncomfortable vibe between them.
Okay.
And I think it probably made her lose some interest.
All right.
But let's see what else is going on here, right? Because it's certainly bizarre that he can't see her, but the family can have over the pastor?
Didn't make any sense to me.
No, not when the son, her brother, has all these health issues, right? Okay. And later on, she told me she had met someone else a day later.
A day later?
A day later, or sometime before is more likely.
Yeah.
And they're only friends.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
So let me get this right. You break up with me. You're telling me you don't have any romantic feelings, and conveniently you've met somebody the next day, but you're only friends? None of this seems like the truth to me.
Not only that, he must have tested negative for COVID.
Yeah, exactly. But he's 33 years old and told me that if I told her mom that we wouldn't be friends again. Okay. Think about what's going on here. They've been friends since they were 8 years old. They had never had any romantic things go on between them. They started to. But in all this time, he's not really getting to see her. Yet, the family could invite people over to the house, but not him. Mm-hmm. She's severely anxious. Now, all of a sudden she says, I don't have romantic feelings for you. But the next day met a new guy that she is friends with. But if you tell my mom about the 33-year-old guy that I'm dating, I'm not going to be friends with you anymore.
Okay, then.
Now, remember, they're in their early 20s, so that's probably why she's saying, if you tell my mom, but think about how little she really values this guy to say, I value a guy that I met just recently more than somebody that I've known since we were 8.
Well, I'm also wondering if the parents have a problem with him. We don't know that.
We don't know. But...
Of course, the pastor wouldn't have COVID.
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
None of it makes any sense.
To me, but doesn't it... even if you just look at that one aspect,
Right.
you'd rather you'll cut off your friendship with me if I tell your mom about what you're doing, even though we've been friends since we were 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty infuriating if you ask me.
I would think so too.
Right?
Yep.
Let's go on. Later, he friend-zoned her, and she was anxious and called me to calm her down.
Don't you love it? I love it when people do that. The second person hasn't treated me well, so I'm calling you for consolation.
I've just dumped you for a guy that I supposedly met the day after, but we're only friends. But he friend-zoned me, even though we're only friends. And now I'm going to use you to make me feel better about the guy that I was supposedly only friends with that I just met. I mean, come on.
Not only that, he's probably coming to dinner that very night.
Yeah, he's going to dinner with the pastor.
Yeah.
They canceled on the pastor so he could come to dinner.
Right.
Oh, man.
Okay, go on.
I really want her to come around and give me another chance. I'll get to that. But while I'm trying no contact and to better myself, she keeps reaching out to me and tries telling me about other people she's talking to. Please help me, Coach. You're my only hope. I hope everybody watching this video is as angry as we are. Because this is infuriating.
Yep.
She thinks so little about your friendship that she's willing to cut you off because you tell her mom about this supposed only friend that was not really a friend. She's lying. I mean, first of all, she's lying. She's interested in romantically. But when he lost interest in her, now she goes to you for comfort.
Yep. Like you were still her friend and nothing had happened.
Margaret, you got to take over here for a moment because the anger towards this woman.
What we want to say to him is, what are you doing? Have you thought about this? Are you angry? And did you ask him if he was angry?
Well, are you angry?
Yeah, we can't. He's not right here with us. But he certainly should be angry. She's not treating him well at all and acting like he has no feelings whatsoever.
Yeah, like where is any compassion or understanding that she's broken up with this guy for another guy?
Yeah, for another guy.
She's so selfish and self-absorbed about how she's handled this.
Yep.
I mean...
And he, being a good soul, seems to talk to her. All right, go ahead. If you can do it. Can you do it? Take a deep breath.
Listen. You value this woman, and you seem to really care about her.
Yeah.
But nothing she has done here has reciprocated that.
Says it back, yeah.
And that should make you angry.
Yeah.
Because you've been friends for a long time.
Right.
This is not a situation where you met on a dating app and you were dating for 6 months and then broke up. You've known this woman over half your life, since you were small kids. And for her to say, I'm never going to talk to you again if you tell my mom about this new guy who I've only just met supposedly the day after we broke up, which I don't believe for a second. I mean, with friends like this, who needs enemies?
Well, I mean, if they hadn't had that little romantic interlude, it would be fine. Mm-hmm. If they had been friends and she would call him for that. But that little interlude did happen, and it appeared that it was important to both of them.
Yeah.
So I think she's treated him horribly.
That's why I'm so upset. I don't think she's told him the truth.
No.
I think she met this guy before they broke up. I think she broke up with him to date this other guy. And she's lying. She's hiding things. And I could understand if she said, please don't tell my mom. I am going to pursue it with this guy.
But she made a threat.
But the threat to cut off the friendship, that's the thing that really upsets me.
The other thing you don't know is that she may have been asking to invite the boyfriend there to dinner for ages, and then the pastor and his family end up there. None of that makes any sense either. So you don't know what her parents are thinking or have thought or are pushing or supporting. You have no idea. How old is this woman?
They're both in their early 20s.
How early?
Very early.
Very early. Okay. So she's still apparently very attached to her family and yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just don't like I mean, she's just showed no understanding that she's hurt this guy.
None whatsoever.
In fact, she gets hurt over the new guy and goes to him.
For comfort. You've never heard of that happening before?
I have, but the way she's done it
Yeah.
throughout all of this is why I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, kid, buddy, where is your anger?
You deserve better than this.
Yeah.
This is honestly not the kind of person that you really want as a friend, in my opinion.
Right.
Because what kind of a friendship is this?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
she'll throw you under the bus in a minute.
yeah, I mean, a true friend would say, if I break up with him, he's really going to be hurt. She's even talking to other people to him about this as well, not just the one guy.
So in case you felt rejected and worthless before, let me tell you that, yeah.
She's cruel. Mm-hmm. She's cruel, and she's selfish, and she's not treating you like a friend at all.
No.
This is not what you do to somebody that you care about or that you're friends with. And to me, it just tells me how truly selfish and self-absorbed she is, that she's just going to keep coming to you and using you to comfort her about all these people that are rejecting her. Meanwhile, you're dying for another chance.
Right. We don't know if he said that.
We don't know if he said that, but we know that he's dying for another chance.
Poor guy. And he's very obviously very sweet and very nice because he's talking to her and being supportive to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that you really want another chance with her, but I don't think you did anything wrong here.
No, I don't think so
I
either.
think if you look at all of her behavior, it was mean and selfish and not really indicative of somebody that you've been friends with for most of your life.
Right.
Like, what?
Whether you're romantic or friends, you care about her.
Yeah.
You don't treat her like this.
And it's telling of what she's capable of. And it would be wise of you to really think about how little she's really valued the friendship that you've tried to have with her. I think she'll just continue to hurt you.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah. So now you've been friend zoned.
I personally wouldn't be friends with somebody with this.
No.
I'll be acquaintances. I'll be polite, but I wouldn't really want to be friends with somebody who can be so cruel.
And friends implies somebody you can trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And based on everything, I didn't trust her at all here.
No. He also said at one point that he was just as happy not to go to dinner the time the pastor and his family were there, and that his girlfriend was terribly anxious.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow his being there was going to make her more anxious. I didn't quite get that.
Very unusual. I'm sorry that this happened to you, because it's
too.
awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. And, you never want to see your friends betray you like that, even if the romantic part of it wasn't going to work out.
Right.
She doesn't have to be with you. You guys are very young, and it's understandable if she just wasn't feeling that romantic connection.
Right.
But the way she's shown such little concern for how you feel about this or anything, or the pain you're experiencing, that's the part that's like, oh, come on, how are you his friend?
And I think he may be excusing her because of her anxiety.
Yeah.
But it doesn't fly. It really doesn't fly. She's really been cruel to him.
Yeah. I personally would not be friends with somebody like this. No. If you want to, that's up to you. But you don't want to ignore how people treat you.
No,
because
you can't. Over a lifetime, can you imagine?
Yeah. I'd leave her alone.
Yep.
And if she wants to come back and explain herself, I'd listen. But, I'm going to be a lot more reluctant to even be friends with you after you've, shown such little concern for me after you've hurt me. Right. I mean, sounds like he's devastated.
It sounds like he's devastated. And I'm impressed with how nice he is because he keeps talking to her and being supportive.
Yeah.
He sounds like a sweet guy. Buddy, you got to look out for yourself here.
and find a sweet girl
Yeah.
that will appreciate that. I think you deserve better. And I think you deserve better friends as well.
I kind of wonder if all these people belong to the same church community.
That's a good question.
I don't know. Yeah.
It did sound like it was this. They had the same pastor.
Yes, it did.
So there could be that going on there too.
Right.
Find a better church.
Well, certainly don't put up with this from somebody who allegedly cares about you.
Yeah, I'd think long and hard and make her work really hard
Yeah.
if you're going to give her another chance, okay? Yeah. But I don't think you're the one that should be trying to get another chance.
No.
I think it needs to be her.
And it's the old, let me know if you change your mind, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, tough situation.
Yes, very tough.
Of course, that's what we're here for. If you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is available for Skype coaching.
If you feel that I can be helpful, please sign up.
Just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon. To get my help personally, go to askcraig.net and click on Schedule Coaching and choose the option that works best for you. I do email coaching or Skype. To schedule a coaching with Margaret, click on Margaret on the top of the page and order a Skype with her. For the Knowledge Creative Healing course, click on the link at the top of the page and click Get Started Now.